Welcome to Epilogue Podcast, the show where we discuss some stuff that happened on a different show ages ago which nobody really cares about anymore.
Hi, I'm Portponky.
And I'm LeBloc.
Today, we're discussing Farscape, Season 4, Episode 1, Crichton Kicks. Crichton, having been trapped on a dying Leviathan, fights off invaders and reunites with some old friends. Is this the cliffhanger resolution you hoped for?
No, but I like being surprised. Well, the one thing I hoped for was that whatever happened, whoever picked up John or wherever he ended up, it wasn't to his benefit, and that's what happened. This Leviathan isn't hostile toward John, but it's dying and can't really do anything for him, and it's not great. So they fulfilled that desire for me.
It's very logical. That was the last place they were at, so he just went back there to the burial ground. And yeah, it's cool that he's been there for a while.
The return of bearded John.
This time the beard is 100% real. And to me, it looks pretty much the same. He just doesn't suit a beard.
If you asked me if that beard was real, I would have guessed no. Because yes, it looks like before, and the lighting in this episode is darker, so it's not really clear at any point that he's actually bearded.
It's 100% real. He grew it in the hiatus between seasons 3 and 4. Speaking of changes, other than beards, the show is now widescreen.
Oh, I missed that.
You didn't even notice.
I did not.
It's in glorious 16:9 widescreen.
And there's a new intro, which is fine.
Which that's the same for the other seasons as well, isn't it?
Oh.
I think they all have minor tweaks to the intro, but yeah. Did you notice anything exciting in the intro?
No. I always let the intro play, and then I absorb the music, but I don't pay attention to what's happening on screen very closely. I mean, I've seen it so many times.
There wasn't anything particularly exciting.
So what did you think about this return? Did it satisfy you when you watched it so many years ago?
I like this episode a lot. I have a soft spot for it because I waited the whole wait. And my friends and I discussed every possible way out that he could have used or reason for things that happened at the end of season 3. And it turns out that one of my friends actually called everything.
Oh, wow. Even the beard?
He didn't call the beard. He called that John would be in the Leviathan burial ground, and he explained what happened to Moya as well.
Interesting.
Which that's not even in this episode. But I have a real soft spot for it because I feel it's a strong episode in many ways. The cliffhanger from the end of season 3 is really brutal. And then they don't directly address it. They come up with this castaway John who's evolved in the downtime and into a guy who seemingly almost doesn't care about anything now. He's just gone.
And we have no idea what happened to half his crewmates yet.
Yeah.
So they didn't even give us that with the opener, which is good because it increases the feeling of isolation for John. He has no idea what they're up to. We have no idea.
The one thing I like most about Farscape is the clever and often witty writing. And I think this episode just exemplifies?
That's a great word.
Exemplifies?
Exemplifies. That's a word.
Yeah. Okay.
And it makes sense.
This episode exemplifies that kind of writing.
There's a line in this episode that I love, and it's when she requests John to say his alphabet in order. And I love that because there's no reason that everyone's alphabet would always be said in order. If you asked anyone who speaks English, they'll all start with A and go through. But that's not the only way to recite an alphabet. Who's to say an alien language? They just say it's filtered by what their mood is, and it changes. I thought that was so good that they put that in there, and it's a thoughtful line about language, and just because we're used to certain things, I mean, that would translate.
A lot of Eastern languages kind of don't really have alphabets, so they have different kinds of alphabets.
She could have just said, "What's your alphabet?" and then that would have been fine. But I like that little addition, that specification.
Did you catch her name, by the way?
No.
It was mentioned, but this is another thing I like. John doesn't seemingly care about what people are called anymore. No one asked the old woman what her name was in the previous episode, and now we have another character, and he just never occurs to him to make friends.
Does it start with an S?
It's Sakozu.
Okay.
The guy mentions it a couple times. The guy that the sort of lead pirate guy, Ecog or whatever his name was.
E-commerce.
Yes. I think the other thing I like about this episode is that Crichton is down on his luck and then does a bunch of does a bunch of stupid stuff.
Like what?
Tries to get a big hound thing launched out of an airlock. That hound looked terrible, by the way.
It looked fine when it was obscured by darkness and it was on screen for half a second.
They almost did it well, but did it in that way all the way through, but then there was the one long shot of it.
Yeah, that's when it looked terrible.
I don't begrudge things that look bad, especially things that are 15, 20 years old.
No, and it's not the focus, and I'm aware of what things look like during that era.
Chiana and Rigel return from their excursion, having had seemingly a pretty unpleasant time. Chiana's eye vision preconception thing has, well, it depends what word you want to use. Evolved? Been retconned?
Retconned?
Well, yeah. Well, it depends. It depends how generous you want to be to them.
Changed.
It is different. She now kind of sees things.
She sees the present in HD.
And in slow motion.
Yeah.
Perhaps with some kind of intuition about it or something. She worked out how to blow up the harvesting operation.
Sure, when I look at stuff in slow motion, I intuit what order to destroy things in.
Also, she has brain problems.
Headaches, blindness.
Yeah, that's bad.
When she was describing her vision, I thought they were trying to go for a cool way to talk about premonitions, how she experiences the present and the future at the same time or something, how time doesn't make sense or it's distorted. But no, it's just, we changed how she uses this power now.
It is a little confusing. It seems like it's sort of still precognitive, but I guess it's not. We'll probably find out. She said she wouldn't use it again, but that would be a good plot device if she just never used it and that was the end of that storyline.
Maybe they got tired of using it and they thought it was stupid, so they found a way to get rid of it.
I just won't do it anymore.
That's that. Claps hands together. I think I noticed something about the writing in this episode, but I may have imagined this, but I'll mention it anyway. I feel like John used more pop culture references than in the past, I don't know, 10 episodes, whatever. I feel like he was well above his batting average for pop culture references. And that made sense to me because he's by himself and isolated. So he would turn to the thing that provides him comfort, reminders of Earth. He shouts in Klingon in here. He mentions Jacques Cousteau. But he's always been big on pop culture, and maybe there's not an uptick here, but there was in my mind.
The one that sticks out is the Klingon.
And Cujo, that was the other one.
I think most of them are par for the course, or at least you can explain it by saying it's well written. Whether or not it's truly good writing or them just pushing that angle because they're trying to get people back into the show. But the Klingon one does stick out to me because I probably just about any nerd or geek will know of Klingon, but I think it's going to be very few who can use any particular words. And then he doesn't even use like the common words that people would know, like kapla or patak.
Right.
He says something different, which I guess he could have just been spouting rubbish. Here's something that appeals to me. I don't like it when every alien has one special power, or like there's some weird artificial balancing to everything.
Like shifting your gravity center?
Yes, it's got a whole bunch of stuff going on that makes no sense.
Reattaching her hand?
Yeah, she can reattach her limbs and walk on walls and learn every language.
You mentioned John not caring about stuff. I loved when she's trying to learn English from him, but he says stuff like mofo, which will not help her make things easier.
It did seem like he was going out of his way to speak in a cryptic manner.
Which I really enjoyed, and he doesn't call attention to it. He doesn't say, hey, I'm going to say things to make things more difficult for you, because that would be stupid and bad writing.
I mean, a bigger clue in that kind of similar scene was when all his stuff got crashed into, and he just stood there with all his stuff.
Equations.
Like blown up and going on fire. That and his drinking.
The new girl. This is the same actress that's played a bunch of roles, right? Emily and some other ones.
Nope.
Darn it.
I would say she doesn't look like Francesca Bueller because I don't think she does, but I don't really know what Francesca Bueller looks like because she's always in heavy makeup. That's Ben Brother's wife. She's not very tall, whereas Rayleigh Hill, who plays Sikozu, is quite a bit taller than her. So yeah, wrong. But good on you for keeping an eye out. She has appeared in all 3 seasons so far.
That's why I guessed that. I didn't really, I didn't recognize her. I just thought there's this girl here. She doesn't have heavy makeup on. Maybe this is that girl. Let me try. Let me see. Let me guess.
Nope. Good guess, but no. Well, bad guess, I
That's
guess.
a bad guess.
It's wrong.
It's exactly the opposite of a good guess.
Okay, I'm just trying to be nice. John, throughout this episode, had a little escape in his brain, talking to Preg Aaron.
Until the end, when she's not pregnant.
That's meaningful.
Possibly. I was trying to figure out what that means.
That he has put it out of his mind.
But he's still there, and she's still there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't quite see what they were going for. It may not even be anything in particular.
I would love it if that were a mistake.
They just forgot the pregnancy makeup?
Yeah.
But they're shot on the same day in the same location.
Maybe they were unsure about doing the pregnancy stuff, so they shot all these scenes.
Oh,
None of that makes sense.
with and without, and then in editing they messed up.
I don't believe that for a second.
That is a very silly idea. No, I think he's just over the whole thing. Or he's telling himself he's over the whole thing.
She should still be pregnant. Maybe this will make sense later. It doesn't make sense here for me.
People can be pregnant without having a huge belly. It's only at the end. You get a huge belly.
So in the end, he's imagining her only 3 months pregnant instead of 9.
Could be.
Why would he switch his mental image of
I don't know. I don't think that's the reason. And that's the question anyway. And Harvey was there.
He was?
Was Harvey there?
I don't remember Harvey. Is he in the background? I didn't pay attention to the background. With his sweet shirt?
Yeah, he had his Hawaiian shirt on. That he had in Crackers Don't Matter. As a starting point for this series, this episode was probably a lot more positive than the previous season.
Because no one died? Well, actually, that guy died in the goop.
He died, and John swam around in the poop goop for quite a long time, looking at him. I just mean season 3 started off with an episode called Season of Death, and then not long after, people were dying. And that was a continuing theme throughout the season. This one just seems a bit more upbeat. Not a lot. I don't think Farscape ever really does happy, but John starts off really low, and then he stops drinking, has a shave, gets his gun out, starts shooting people. You know, it seems a bit more upbeat.
He's a big fan of the 1812 Overture.
Which is another awesome thing about this episode. How can you not find it upbeat when it's got that going on? Do you have a quote from this episode?
No dream is guaranteed, Commander. The grace of age is we learn to accept.
That's a bit sad. Well, didn't she say that she's just going to drop them off somewhere?
I'm not sure.
Oh no, yeah, she can't go back because the harvesters guys will come to find Leviathans there.
Oh yeah, to harvest the stuff. Sometimes people harvest your organs and you can't fulfill your dreams.
What is their dream? Just to die there?
Yeah, in the sacred burial area. Which is weird.
Just take a run up. Go a bit away from it, drive towards it, and then die. And you'll just drift into it. And then through it, and then out the other side.
They'll be dead anyway, they won't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she didn't want to be harvested while not quite dead. That
I could understand.
Like, if you're going to donate your organs, which you should, you probably want that to happen after you actually die, not just when it's looking pretty bad.
Wait until I've checked out, please.
Yeah, just for the flat line, give it a minute and then grab the organs.
Maybe more than a minute.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Then just go wild. Take as needed.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't just turn Elak, the Leviathan, into a giant bomb somehow.
What?
Because then you could, they could blow up the harvesters.
If you turn yourself into a bomb, you don't get into Leviathan heaven.
Okay, yeah, that's a bizarre religion. Usually that sort of thing is really popular.
They're expressly anti-bomb.
They're so fussy.
It's one of their 12 tenets of Leviathanasianism.
It was a rubbish dream, though.
Yeah, maybe dream a bit bigger.
Get a slightly better dream. I mean, that one, not only is that very achievable, it's not... I don't know, maybe I'm just picking away at something, because to me it just seems pointless to worry that much about what happens to you after you die, but they may not think that way.
You know what? You're around for, what, 300 cycles? I forgot.
Yeah.
They're around forever. Maybe have more than one dream.
Maybe they achieved all the other dreams. This was the only one left.
Oh, yeah. It was the last one to check off.
Their true dream was achieving all of their dreams. And because of this, they've screwed up everything.
Just take that one off the list.
Oh, you can't redact the list. That's cheating.
What if my dream is to redact one of my dreams?
You're entering a kind of Gödel's incompleteness theorem situation here.
You're being very offensive to the Leviathan religion.
I can live with that. Let's go on to the next episode.
It's my dream to go on to the next episode.
Then that is, again, a very easily achievable dream that's going to leave you having a hollow life. Because once you've done it, that's it. Maybe Elak just went to the burial ground and has been waiting there for 300 years.
Maybe.
I'm sure we'll find out soon.
Bye.
Bye. Wait, what?